All right. Fantastic. Well, my name is Brooke, and I am happy to be here with Small World Yoga to guide your hour-long power flow practice. It looks like everybody has muted, so I don't need to go through all of that. It's a 1 hour journey into power flow. Once we get the video, well, I am recording this, and so once it's all set, it'll be back out on YouTube later, probably later tonight, if you wanted to practice again or share it in any way. And then I will also be sure to add in on the chat, because I did not do this last time. If you want to donate, we welcome donations through our Venmo and also through our Kindful, and I'll put those links up at the end, or you can always go to our website and find that stuff out. A lot of people have been doing that, and it's been super encouraging to us to know that you still believe in our mission just as much as we do, and we're doing the best we can, all of us, right? All right, so here on your mat, go ahead and get started in child's pose. And get tuned into your breath. Just take about 3 or 4 rounds of breath, your own breath, as deeply as you can inhale and as empty as you can possibly get on your exhale. What we want to do is make space for something new in your body. And that starts with your breath. You can roll your forehead from side to side on your mat. Just notice the sensation of your forehead pressing down into the earth. Get present to the tops of your feet, your toes, your shins. And then spread your fingers out wide. Press down through every knuckle in both hands. Press your hips straight back, so an activated child's pose. Take one more round of breath. Downward facing dog. So press down through the ball mounds of both feet. Bend your right knee. And then bend your left knee, like alternate, pedaling your feet. And lift your right heel up toward the sky or the ceiling. Spread all 5 toes on your right foot. And now bend your knee, open your hip. Feel a nice stretch through that whole right side. And take an inhale. Exhale, return your right foot back down to your mat. Lift your left heel up. And hug into your core, and then lift, bend your knee, your left knee. Spread and wiggle all 5 toes. And then bring your foot back down to the ground. Ragdoll, top of your mat. Tiptoe your feet to meet your thumbs. So your feet are hip distance apart, or you could put 2 fists in between your feet, or you can take a stance if that feels good. And then bring your awareness to your neck. Lengthen your neck towards the mat. So with the crown of your head pressing down towards the mat. And just get present to all that is right here, right now in your space. Take 2 more rounds of breath. Take your eye gaze, your drishti, towards the back edge of your mat. And then release your elbows, halfway lift. Press your palms into your shins. Get long and flat in your spine. Fold forward. Extended mountain pose. Lift all the way up. Drop your shoulders down your back. Take one more inhale, lift high. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We'll begin this practice with one long Om together. Fill your lungs, lift your chest. Extended mountain, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, step back, high plank. And then lower down halfway, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths in this down dog. And press down through the palms of your hands, through all of the knuckles of your fingers. Take the pressure out of your wrists and your elbows. One more big breath in. Empty out. Walk your feet to your hands. Half lift. Forward fold. Rise. Extended mountain. Lift up. Fold. Halfway lift. Low plank. Upward facing. Pull your shoulder blades back. Downward facing. Lift your hips up and back. Together, breathe in. Empty out. 4 more rounds of breath. Two more. Fill up. Empty. Last breath in. Let it go. Step your feet to your thumbs. Half lift. Fold. Extended mountain. Breathe in. Forward fold. Breathe out. Halfway lift. Inhale. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Big giant breath in. Empty out. And just 2 more breaths. Your Ujjayi breath, if you haven't begun that already, just seal your lips and breathe in and out of your nose. Last inhale. Empty, jump to your thumbs. Half lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Lift high. Fold. Halfway lift. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths together. Root down through your hands and your feet and lift your tailbone up toward the sky. Take 1 more giant breath in. Lift to your toes. Bend your knees. Exhale. Jump forward. Half lift. Fold. Thunderbolt. Chair pose. A really, really great form. Lift the front of your pelvis up toward the ceiling. Descend your tailbone down towards your mat. And then sit another couple of inches towards your mat. That's it, Sarah. Breathe in, both Sarahs. Breathe out. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more giant breath. Fold. Halfway lift, breathe in, low plank. Upward facing, breathe in, downward facing. Warrior 1, step your right foot forward. Yeah, so bring your awareness to your front right thigh, your quadricep, zip up your quad. And then see how parallel you can get it to your mat. Stack your right knee, nice Kate, good adjustment. Press down through both feet. Yeah, and lift your hip points up towards your shoulders. Fill up, empty out. One more big breath in, hands to the mat, step back, flow through. Upward facing, downward facing. Warrior one, step your left foot forward. And then wake up your back leg. So press your back hamstring towards the back edge of your mat. Yeah, really, really great adjustments. Take 2 more breaths. Fill up, empty. One more big breath. Hands to your mat, flow through. Upward facing, downward facing dog. Together, breathe in, empty out. 3 more breaths. Last breath in, empty, step or jump, top of your mat. Half lift, forward fold, chair pose. Just 1 breath, sit low, fold. Halfway lift, low plank. Upward facing, downward facing. Warrior one, right foot, just 1 breath, lift up. Exhale, hands to the mat, flow through. Upward facing, downward facing. Warrior one, left foot. Hands to the mat, flow through. Yeah, we're doing these 1 breath each movement to build your fire and kind of burn off all the stuff that you don't need while you're practicing. Like burn off any thoughts, concerns. Just dial into what this feels like to be in your body right now. Nice, Amanda. Good to see you. Take another inhale. Empty. Jump your feet to your hands. Half lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Sit really low. Fold. Half lift. Low plank. Upward facing. Downward facing. Warrior one, right foot. Hands to the mat, step back, flow through. Warrior one, left foot. Keep your core engaged. Lift your side ribs up toward the ceiling. Hands to the mat, flow through. Upward facing, downward facing. And just 2 more breaths. Fill up, empty. 1 more inhale, rise up to your toes, bend your knees, jump. Half lift, fold, chair, fold. Half lift, low plank. Up dog, down dog. Warrior one, right foot. Hands to the mat, flow through. And left side, warrior one. Downward facing dog. We'll do 1 more sun B together. Just take 2 more breaths in this down dog. And lift your belly button up and in towards your spine. Take 1 more inhale. Empty out, jump. Half lift, forward fold, chair pose. Fold, half lift, low plank. Upward facing, press your chest to the front of your mat. Downward facing, warrior one, right foot. Hands to the mat, flow low. Warrior one, left foot. Root down to rise up. Hands to the mat, step back. Vinyasa. Lift your right heel up toward the ceiling. Bend your knee, open your hip, point your knee way up high. Maybe it gets a little more height than that very first time you did this. And now flip your dog. Press down through the ball mounds of both feet. Take your left hip, press it straight up toward the sky, the ceiling. And then extend your right arm long out in front of you. So good. Take one more breath. Unflip. Take side plank on the right. Yeah, and then you choose. You can drop your right knee if you need to modify. You can lift your top leg to elevate the practice. Get a little more heat flowing. Nice, Natalie. Take your eye gaze. Look at your left thumb. Take one more big breath. High plank. Lower down halfway. Upward facing. Downward facing. High crescent lunge. Step your right foot in between your hands. Oop, gotcha, Kate. Yeah, fire up your back quad. Draw your left heel right over your toes. Yeah, and then you can bring both of your hands to your hips to make sure that your hips are square to the front of your mat. Like draw your left hip forward. Zip up your back left quad. Now inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Twist over your right thigh. And you can use your right thigh as leverage. Press your left elbow in. Draw your right shoulder blade towards the left side of your mat. So good. Take two more breaths. Look up over your right shoulder. Inhale. Big twist. Warrior two, open up. And then check out your back arm. Look back over the middle finger of your back arm. And now look over the middle finger of your right arm. Extended side angle. So press the outer side of your right knee over the pinky toe side of your right foot just to open up through your hips. Yeah, and you guys have all got variations that I'm seeing. Beautiful birds of paradise. If you want to take a half bind or a full bind, you've got a few more breaths to play here. Yeah, bound half moon. Go for your edge. And then come back to your extended side angle. Reach your left fingertips straight up toward the ceiling. Big breath in, hands to your mat. Flow low. Beautiful job. Upward facing, downward facing. Lift your left heel up toward the ceiling. Bend your knee, open your hip, and now flip your dog. Yeah, and from that place of integration, so your feet are only hip distance apart, your shoulder blades are pulled in together. Now lift your right hip up toward the ceiling. Yeah, full wheel is almost there. Nice, Catherine. Take one more big breath. Unflip. Side plank. Left hand down, right fingertips stretch high towards the sky. And flex all 10 toes towards your face. Press your right hip 3 more inches up. You've got that nice arc shape into your body. Big inhale. Hands to the mat. Low plank. Upward facing. Downward facing. High crescent lunge. Step your left foot all the way to the top of your mat. Yeah, take a long stance. And then come back to your hips. Like bring your hands to your hips. Do your personal check-in. If Amanda were assisting this class, she would definitely be helping you out with that right now. I miss those days. Yeah, lift your side ribs up toward the ceiling. Hands to your heart, twist over your left thigh. Yeah, and then work to keep both hips level here. A lot of times my right hip wants to dip down towards the mat. Can you press your right hip in line with your left? That's it, James. Lift it another inch up toward the ceiling. Yeah, really good adjustment. Breathe in, twist. 2 more times. Fill up, empty out. 1 more inhale, big twist, warrior 2. And dial into your left knee. Press your left knee towards the left side of your pinky toe. Extended side angle. Okay, and then what are you doing with your bottom arm? If you've got your elbow on your knee, like energize your hands, spread your fingers wide, keep the activation in all the parts of your body. Everything's awake and a contribution to whatever your shape looks like. Yeah, and if you are reaching your top arm up toward the ceiling, like extend those fingers wide. Fire it up. 2 more breaths. Fill up, empty out. 1 more breath. High to low plank. Flow through, upward facing, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth, let some noise out, like compete with the lawnmowers and the birds and the squirrels making noise outside. Take 1 more giant breath in. Open your mouth, make some noise just for you. Jump your feet to your thumbs. Half lift, forward fold, chair pose. So your inner thighs squeeze in toward one another and then rotate up towards your ceiling. Take a giant breath in, bring your hands to your heart, twist to the right. And to work on your shoulder integration, lift your right fingertips up toward the ceiling. And then flip your palm the opposite direction. Take the half bind. So reach that around to your left hip pocket. Keep your shoulder blades squeezing in together. Breathe in, sit low. You want your booties below your heart. Take 1 more big breath. Pull your right shoulder back towards the side of your mat and fold forward. Separate your feet, fingers to toes, forward fold. Bend your knees. Find some ease, but don't like give in completely to just being a rag doll here. Like press your big toe mounds down into your fingers and then lift up on your big toes. So your arms are active. Great. Now release your toes, walk your feet back together, lift halfway, get long and flat in your spine. Fold, chair pose. Yeah, your best version of chair. Reach your fingertips up toward the ceiling. Breathe in, hands to your heart, twist left. Yeah, really good stacking of your elbows, Elaine, so they're in one line. Now reach your top arm up toward the ceiling or the sky and try the half bind on this side. It does require like lifting your shoulder blades in towards your spine. Yeah, and then notice whether your hips are pointing straight back to the back of your mat. Sometimes in a half bind, it kind of takes away from the alignment of your hips. Press your right hip back. Take 1 more big breath. Big twist. Fold. Palms to toes, forward fold. Gorilla Asana. Yeah, your drishti, lock into that one spot behind you, like in between your shins. And notice, are you still holding tension in your neck or in your jaw? Can you let that go with every breath? One more full body breath in. Empty all the air out. Release your feet, crow pose. Yeah, your version of crow or deep squat, if that's where you are today, know that you have the freedom to make this shape look like what you want it to look like, what you need for it to feel like. Yeah, whether that's going further than you've ever gone. Such good crows. Hug everything in. Take 2 more breaths wherever you are. Lift your tailbone up toward the ceiling. Last big inhale. Step back, high to low plank. Yeah, jump back. So many good variations. Upward facing, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, high crescent lunge. Yeah, your powerful legs, both legs, your front leg and your back leg are working equally here. Really press down into the right foot. Take a big breath in. Exhale, eagle. Left leg wraps over, left arm wraps under. Oh, how did that go? Yeah, pretty good. Really nice. And sit your hips 2 inches down towards your mat. And you want to work towards having elbows in line with your shoulders. Drishti, one focus. And Ujjayi, still maintaining that even, steady, victorious breath. On your next inhale, lift your left knee up towards your left ribs, and then kick your heel out in front of you. Lift your fingertips up. Lift your foot up 3 more inches. Airplane, kick back. Yeah, your slow and steady transition relies on your drishti. Like, where are you setting your focus? Where your eyes go, your energy flows. Hug your belly button up and in. Flex your back toes towards your shin. Yeah, that's it. Take 1 more big breath. Half moon. So your right hand comes down to a block or, you know, like a big can of vegetables or something. A book, water bottle. Yep. And then start by focusing on your core. Like, really dial into hugging everything in. And then from there, you can begin to radiate out. Lift your left hip up toward the ceiling. Lift your left heel 3 more inches. Take 1 more big breath. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Low plank. Upward facing, downward facing dog. High crescent, left foot. And root down through both feet first. And now focus all of your energy onto your left foot. Take a big breath in. Eagle, wrap your right leg over. Yeah, that actually worked out so much better now that you know where you're going and you know what you need in terms of drishti and breath. Root down through your standing foot. And then draw your shoulder blades towards the back edge of your mat. Take one more breath in. Sit low as you breathe out. On your next inhale, lift your right knee up towards your right ribs. And then kick your foot out in front of you. Lift it 3 more inches toward the sky. Airplane. Take off, fly. And drop your right hip towards the left. Yeah. And extend your fingertips straight back towards the back of your mat. Take one more inhale. Half moon, left hand down. Right shoulder stacks over your left. And again, the same thing applies with all the different extremities. So spread all of your toes, energy in both hands. Stack your right hip on top of your left. 2 more breaths. You've got it. Root down, lift up. Last big breath in. Fold forward. Extended mountain pose. Standing leg raise on the right. Yeah, so whether you're grabbing your right knee or your right big toe, begin to open it up towards the right side of your mat. You can play with your eye gaze and look out over your left thumb if you want to extend your left arm directly out of your left shoulder. Take one more breath, and then without bringing your foot to the mat, can you come into tree? Yeah, you can use your hands to help. And then again, your variation of tree, pressing your right foot into your left thigh. Some of you are doing more of a figure 4 or half lotus. Root down and then lift your chest up toward the ceiling. And then right here, can you close your eyes? Come into your center. Yeah, and it's okay if you fall out. Just get right back in. And bring your hands back to your heart. Take dancer pose. Take your right foot back. Reach to the inside of your right ankle. Press your left arm straight out in front of you. And if you have a wall, or yeah, use your deck, your railing out there, use what you've got. Take 2 more breaths. Last big fullest expression, extended mountain. Standing leg raise on the left. Hug your left knee in or take your left big toe and open it up. Yeah, and equanimity, this balancing part of the series, really is a great place to check back in to where your thoughts and your mind is. Like, is it on your mat? Can you dial it in and just be in your body in stillness? On your next breath, transition to tree. So press your left foot into your right thigh, above your knee. Hug in, and then find your variation with your arms. And now where can you take your eye gaze? Like up towards the ceiling? Maybe even back to where the ceiling meets the back wall. Yeah, falling out in yoga is actually a really good thing. And now transition to dancer. Yeah, nice, Sarah. Just trying it on without setting your foot down just to see. We're all having to find new ways to do things right now, so why should your practice be any different? Keeping it interesting within your same four walls or your same backyard. Take one more big breath, fullest expression, and extended mountain. Press down through both feet. Lift your arms straight up toward the ceiling, the sky. Hold. Halfway lift. Low plank. Up dog. Down dog. Warrior one, right foot. And now open up to warrior two. Flip your front palm, reach back, peaceful warrior, stretch through your right ribs, straighten your right knee, triangle. And in this open hip posture, like pull your left hip towards the right side of your mat. Press your right hip towards your back heel. Take another breath. Press through both feet, come all the way up to standing. Turn both feet on 12 o'clock. Side facing wide leg forward fold. And then you choose, are you staying on your feet? Are you gonna play with tripod headstand? Or maybe you walk your hands over to one foot and then the other. So many options. All right, last breath. Bring your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to standing. Nice inversions. And then pyramid on the right. So point your right foot towards the top of your mat. Step your left foot up and out. Fold over your right shin. Yeah, and everyone lift up halfway. So flat spine, hug your belly button up and in. And now take your collarbone down towards your toes. From that place of integration, find more length in your right hamstring. Twisting triangle. Left hand down. Open your right arm up toward the ceiling. We've been working on the shoulder integration. Pull your right shoulder on top of your left. One more big breath, open. Hands to the mat, flow through, low plank. Upward facing, downward facing. Warrior one, left foot. Warrior two. Peaceful warrior, reach back. Triangle, straighten your left knee. Yeah, and then bring your attention to your right hip. Send it up toward the ceiling. Two more breaths. Press down. Take your eye gaze up. One more inhale. Side facing, wide leg forward fold. Your variation again. You can hold on to opposite elbows to get a shoulder rinse. All right, towel works nicely. One more breath. Hands to your hips, come all the way up to standing. Pyramid on the left. Pivot your toes towards the top of your mat. Think short and wide in your stance. Lengthen your spine and fold over your left shin. Yeah, and then once more for the shoulder integration, lift halfway, hug your shoulder blades in, and now take your collarbone down towards your toes, towards your shin. It just keeps your back from rounding so much in this shape. So good. Twisting triangle. Right hand down to the floor or your block. Twist your right lung over and up toward the ceiling. So pull your left shoulder back. Take another 2 breaths. Press down through your feet. Last big inhale. Hands to the mat. Step back. Come all the way down to your belly. We're just going to do 1 locust. Squeeze your thighs in together. Take your hands back by your side. Palms face the ground. And then lift up. Yeah, lift your heart up. Lift your thighs up. Squeeze your inner thighs in together. 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Bend your knees for floor bow. 1 floor bow for your practice today. And then reach around your ankles, flex your feet up toward the ceiling, and lift. Yeah, press your shins towards the back of your mat. Pull your shoulder blades back towards the back of your mat. So good, like balancing on your hip bones for 3, 2, really kick back to rise up and lower down. Roll over onto your back for bridge pose. Yeah, so just flip exactly where you are. And press down through both feet. And lift your hips up towards the sky. Yeah, you can clasp your hands under your low back to get some more shoulder integration here. 3, 2, 1, lower down. We're just gonna do 3 wheels today, but we're gonna hold them for 10 breaths each. You guys have got it. Yeah, we've been working on your shoulders this whole time. You're warm, you're ready, and we're doing it together. We've got all the support of all these lovely people. So press your hands down into your mat, press your heels down, and now lift up for 10, 9, 8, hug your knees in together, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down. Take a breath. Let it out. And number 2, right here, press down, lift up for 10, 9, 8, hug your shoulder blades in, 6, press your hips up high, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower down. All right, this is it. Last one, best one, right? Press down through your feet, the center of both heels, and then lift up. Sarah, we're coming for you. You've been up here this whole time. Yeah, press through your hands. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, get really big, 3, 2, and 1. Such great work. Supta Baddha Konasana. Press the soles of your feet together. And just take a moment to notice whether you're still holding any tension in your face, in your abdomen, in your hips. Let it go. happy baby. Hold on to the outsides of both feet. Pull your knees down towards your armpits. As you're pulling down on your feet, press your feet up toward the ceiling, like get that opposite action. And now release your feet straight up in the air. For scissor legs, take your hands behind your head, drop your right leg 45 degrees. Keep your feet flexed and pulse your chest to your left thigh for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs, bend at your knees. Keep your hands where they are. We'll do yogi bicycles from here. So we're gonna do 25. So just start, kick your right leg out long, take your elbow to your left knee, yeah. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. High boat. Yeah, rock up to your sits bones. Really lift your chest up towards your ceiling. Lift the crown of your head up towards your ceiling. Lift your arms up toward the ceiling. Lower down, low boat. Lift up, high boat. 2 more times. Low boat, hug in, high boat. Last one, low. Sit up for high. 3, 2, and 1. Rock and roll, forward and back. Make your way into downward facing dog. And then come into half pigeon. Your right knee towards your right wrist. Your right foot behind your left wrist. And then as you begin to fold forward, commit to yourself right here, recommit to your practice, your time on your mat, in your own space. And there's a reason that you keep showing up for this practice. We've been blown away by the number of people that still connect. I mean, as humans, we really do crave some level of human interaction. There are, days that I want more of it and days that I want less of it. But that's just part of who I am and part of what this practice gives me access to. Like, I can choose to be a part of it and really go all in, fullest expression. And then there are days when I can back off a little bit and acknowledge that it's time to just be still. And nothing is wrong with either of those. Switch sides, half pigeon on the left. And then have this conversation with your body. How are your hips feeling today? What do they need more of or less of? And not in a judgy way, just in a noticing. Having acceptance for what is as much as for what isn't. Right now in this moment on your mat. Even if your dog is like, why are you still on your mat? Please come play with me. Double pigeon. So come to your seat, cross your right leg over your left, and extend your right heel like past your left knee. If you have a block, I do love to put a block under my right foot outside my left knee, just to give my foot something to press down into. And get present to your sits bones. Press down through your sits bones. Lift your spine up and out of your hips. And then if you want a little more, you can begin to fold forward. And again, bearing in mind that you're keeping your spine nice and long, not really rounding through your spine, but pressing your collarbone towards the front of your mat. Yeah, nice, Elaine. Keep your sits bones rooted down. Lengthen your spine forward. One more breath. Switch sides. Double pigeon, left shin on top. Yeah, pillow's a great idea there too for your left heel. Underneath your left thigh. Full body breath in and out. One more time, breathe in, breathe out. Seated single leg extension. Take your right heel to the top of the right side of your mat. Keep your left foot pulled in towards your right thigh and fold over your right leg. Flex your toes back towards your face. And switch sides. Root down through your sits bones, lengthen your collarbone towards your left toes. Then come back to center, stretch both legs out long in front of you. Seated forward fold. Yeah, and bend your knees as much as you need to grab the outside of both feet. And then you can slowly begin to inch your heels away from your hips. Take one more big breath. Fold. Reverse table. Plant your feet, bend your knees, and then take your hands back by your hips. Lift your hips up toward the ceiling. Drop the head back to the back of your mat. Press down through your hands and your feet. Lift your hips. Take two big lion's breaths. Fill up your lungs. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue. Ha. And do that again. Fill up. Stick out your tongue, make some noise. Drop your hips. And then you create an inversion of your choice. Shoulder stand by propping your hips up with your hands up toward the ceiling. You want to try on your classical headstand or handstand variation. On Thursday, Dan is going to lead us through a handstands at home little 30-minute workshop. He can show you some fun tips and tricks to work on your inversion practice. Focus on your breathing. And if you're in shoulder stand, come down into plow. Take your feet overhead. Keep your tailbone pointed straight up toward the ceiling. And then Deaf Yogi, bend your knees around your ears. Squeeze in. And then slowly roll all the way back out onto your mat. Hug your right knee in for supine twist. Drop it over to the left side of your mat. Keep both shoulders pressing down onto the floor. And then switch sides. Continuing the process of letting tension go to prepare yourself for a final resting pose. And come back to center. Stretch your legs out long. Arms out long overhead, full body stretch. Take a giant breath in. Empty everything out. Savasana. You take your arms anywhere you choose. Take up space. To get empty of anything else in your body that you're holding on to. In your body, your brain. Just be. Slowly begin to become aware of the sounds around you, outside of your body, in your environment. And begin to deepen your breath. Notice the sound of your breath mixed with all of the sounds around you. Begin to bring movement into your fingers and your toes. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll off to your right side. This shape reminds you of a new beginning. This new sense of ease that you can take with you throughout the rest of your day, no matter what it is that you're doing or not doing. And find a moment just of gratitude that you are still able to practice. You have people that care about you and want to connect with you in this way. And you care about yourself enough to continue your practice. And press yourself up into an easy seat. You can keep your eyes closed just for another moment. Draw your thumb knuckles into your heart center. And together as our virtual community, we're going to seal this practice in with one final Om together. Take a big, deep breath in. Thumb knuckles to your forehead center. The light in me honors and appreciates the light in each and every one of you. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me, with us, with each other. Together we bow and say, Namaste. Yay, you all can I unmute everybody all at once? I know I can, I just don't know how.